If your blood sugar keeps going up no matter what you eat or how hard you try, this is probably the video you've been missing. Most people with type 2 diabetes are told the same things over and over. Eat less sugar, move more, take your medication. And yet so many people do all those things and still wake up to blood sugar numbers that make zero sense. Here's what nobody's talking about. It may not be your diet at all. There is a hormone that could be silently sabotaging your blood sugar every single day, and most doctors aren't even checking it. I'm Dinah. I'm a registered dietitian who specializes in type 2 diabetes. And today I'm going to show you exactly what that hormone does to your blood sugar. And then I'm going to give you 3 practical ways to bring it back down. But before we get into it, if you want my complete guide to reversing type 2 diabetes naturally, including a 7-day meal plan with recipes and grocery lists, just comment the word guide below and I'll send it to you for free right now. So let's talk about cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone your body makes in your adrenal gland. 2 tiny glands that sit right on top of your kidneys. You've probably heard it called the stress hormone, and that's basically right. When you feel stressed, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, your brain sends a signal that says danger, and your adrenal glands pump out cortisol to deal with it. In small doses, cortisol is actually doing you a favor. It gives you energy, sharpens your focus, it helps you get through hard situations. The problem is what happens when cortisol stays high for too long, because when it won't come back down, it starts doing some really damaging things to your blood sugar. And there are 3 specific ways this plays out. So first, cortisol tells your liver to make more glucose. Your liver starts pumping sugar into your bloodstream even when you haven't eaten a single thing. So you wake up in the morning, you haven't touched food in 8 hours, and your blood sugar is already high. That's not a coincidence. That's cortisol-driven glucose production happening while you sleep. Second, your cortisol makes your muscles stop absorbing glucose properly, and your muscles are huge. They handle about 70 to 80% of all the glucose your body uses. So when cortisol blocks that process, all that sugar just floats around in your bloodstream with nowhere to go. Third, cortisol actually suppresses insulin. It shuts down the beta cells in your pancreas, the cells that make insulin, which means you have even less of the hormone you need to clear out the sugar out of your blood. If you're on a GLP-1 medication like Ozempic or Mounjaro, here's something that might surprise you. Chronically high cortisol can actually reduce how well those medications work by interfering with GLP-1 signaling in your gut and your brain. So you're taking your medication, eating carefully, and your body is still fighting you from the inside because of this one hormone. There is a condition called hypercortisolism, which means chronically high cortisol, and is actually way more common in people with type 2 diabetes than most doctors realize. A major clinical study called the Catalyst trial screened over 1,000 people with type 2 diabetes whose blood sugar was still hard to control even on standard medications. Nearly 1 in 4 of those patients also had hypercortisolism. And on the flip side, over 40% of people with high cortisol have type 2 diabetes, and up to 64% have some form impaired blood sugar. That's not a small overlap. That's a massive connection that most people, and honestly most doctors, are completely missing. I recently came across a statistic in a journal I was reading, and I honestly was just so shocked and blown away. I didn't even know that many people with type 2 diabetes suffered from chronically high cortisol levels. And that's what prompted me to do this video in the first place. And the consequences of this go way beyond blood sugar. People with both high cortisol and persistently high blood sugar have more than double the death rate compared to people without it. They also have nearly 4.5 times the risk of heart attack in the first year after diagnosis. High cortisol also speeds up nerve damage, kidney damage, and eye damage, all the complications that people with diabetes are trying so hard to avoid. And it increases your appetite, packs fat around your belly, wrecks your sleep, and drags down your mood. And this isn't meant to scare you, but empower you to do something about this. So if you've been feeling frustrated because you're doing everything right and nothing seems to be working, this could be a missing piece. And if you want my free guide to reversing type 2 diabetes, comment guide below. It includes specific strategies for blood sugar management that go hand in hand with everything we're covering today. So what can you actually do about this? Here are 3 things that are backed by real research. So number 1, fix your sleep first. This one is free and it might be the most powerful thing on the list. Poor sleep is one of the biggest drivers of elevated cortisol. When you don't sleep enough or your sleep quality is bad, your HPA axis, which is the system that controls cortisol, it stays activated through the night and into the morning. A study published in the journal Sleep found that even one night of poor sleep can significantly elevate morning cortisol levels. Over time, consistently bad sleep keeps your cortisol chronically high, which, as we just covered, keeps driving your blood sugar up. So aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep, keep your room cool and dark, stop screens at least an hour before bed, and try to wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends, because your cortisol follows your body clock and a consistent schedule helps it stay in a healthy rhythm. Okay, number 2, use your body to calm your brain. Exercise is incredible for lowering cortisol. Walking in particular is one of the most underrated tools for blood sugar and cortisol together. A study in the journal Frontiers in Psychology found that even a 20-minute walk in nature meaningfully reduces salivary cortisol. Resistance training, so lifting weights or using resistance bands, is another powerful option. It builds the muscle tissue that absorbs glucose, and research shows it helps normalize cortisol patterns over time. 3 sessions per week, 30 to 40 minutes each, is enough to see benefits. You don't need to run a marathon, you just need to move consistently in a way that doesn't feel like punishment. And number 3, ashwagandha. This is where it gets really interesting, and this is the one I get the most questions about. Ashwagandha is an herb that's been used for centuries, and in the last decade, researchers have started putting it through serious clinical trials. A 2024 meta-analysis, which is a study that pools the results of many studies together, found that ashwagandha produces a significant and meaningful reduction in cortisol levels in adults. In one well-designed trial, stressed adults taking 240 milligrams per day of ashwagandha saw about a 23% reduction in fasting morning cortisol compared to a placebo group. Another study tested 250 milligrams and 600 milligrams per day over 8 weeks, and they found that both doses lowered cortisol, with the higher dose producing a stronger effect. The research is clear that the strongest effects happen in people who are already running high on stress, which is exactly the picture for most people managing type 2 diabetes day in and day out. Now, I do recommend ashwagandha to a lot of my clients, but the quality of the supplement matters enormously. Most products on the market are full of fillers, binders, low quality ingredients that make the label look good, but don't actually deliver what the research is based on. Our Jade ashwagandha is different. It's organic. One capsule delivers 650 milligrams of a standardized ashwagandha extract, which is the clinically meaningful range, and it includes 5 milligrams of black pepper extract, specifically to improve how well your body absorbs and uses it. That's it. Those are the only ingredients, no fillers, no binders, no ingredients you can't produce, just what's on the label, nothing else. So you just take 1 capsule a day. Usually it's best taken at night. All you need. Most people start seeing changes in sleep and stress response within 2 to 4 weeks. Now, ashwagandha is not for everyone. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, skip it. If you're on medications that affect thyroid or immune function, talk to your doctor first and stick to the study dose range. Don't go thinking higher is better. 650 milligrams is the perfect amount. So to bring everything together, if your blood sugar is stubbornly high despite your best efforts, cortisol could genuinely be the reason. It blocks insulin, drives your liver to dump glucose into your blood, shuts down your muscles' ability to absorb sugar, and makes your diabetes medications less effective. Nearly 1 in 4 people with hard to control type 2 diabetes also have high cortisol, and most of them have no idea. Your 3 steps today are to prioritize your sleep, add consistent movement, and if it's right for you, consider a clean, high-quality ashwagandha supplement to support your cortisol from the inside out. Also, talk to your doctor about getting your cortisol levels checked. A simple test can tell you if your cortisol levels are too high. So if you are feeling chronically stressed, be your own advocate, go to your doctor and ask for a cortisol test. And comment guide below to grab my completely free guide to reversing type 2 diabetes naturally. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so.